What's up, everybody? It's Jimmy, and today we're going to be talking about an interesting topic that I call the most underrated high school NBA prospects ever. So in this list, there's going to be some guys who we're all familiar with if you watch the NBA at all, who weren't even on the radar of certain prospects in high school. So before we get into this video, be sure to subscribe and to like and do all that good stuff. Alright, so first on this list is Russell Westbrook. So we all know Beastbrook. I'm not the biggest fan, but the guy's going off. He's averaging a triple-double this season. He'll probably finish off the season averaging a triple-double, which is insane. So back in high school, Russell Westbrook was ranked 151st in the country. He wasn't even on the radar. I mean, he didn't even have an ESPN profile. Like, that's how far off he was in high school. So the 6-time All-Star, he was 5'8" his sophomore year, and he was 6'3" his senior year. So he grew 7 inches in 2 years, and by his senior season he averaged 25 and 9. But despite this, he didn't get any sort of ranking on ESPN's system. However, he received an offer from UCLA's team, but this was only because Jordan Farmar, who went on to play for the Lakers, had declared for the draft. So UCLA needed a backup guard, and Westbrook was from the area. They knew him, so they picked him up. He had a really good career over at UCLA, and he forewent his last 2 years to declare for the draft. He was selected 4th overall, and the story goes from there. He's doing amazing right now. He's honestly one of the best players on the planet, and he's proving all the recruiters wrong, honestly. So next we have Stephon Curry, the 2-time MVP. Whether you hate him or not, you gotta admit the guy is balling out, and he has been for the past 3 years. So Curry was ranked way worse than Westbrook. Curry was ranked 281st his senior year in high school. 281st. So according to recruiters, there's 280 players better than Stephon Curry in his class. He's the son of NBA player Del Curry, but despite this, he wasn't getting a lot of attention in high school. He made the All-State team his senior year, but he, again, just like Westbrook, he didn't even have an ESPN recruiting profile. Like, he wasn't even on the radar. But he wasn't very small. He was 6'2", 160, which is all right for a varsity level player in high school. He went on to Davidson, so a semi-major school, and he broke the conference record in 3-pointers in a season, and he averaged over 28 points his senior year. I mean, if you guys watch NCAA, you see the clinic he put on when he was at Davidson during the tournament, and then he ended up getting drafted 7th overall by the Warriors, and we know the story from there. Probably the best shooter in NBA history. Actually, scratch that. I don't care what anybody says. He's the best shooter in NBA history. His stats go to show it. If you watch any of his games night in and night out, it goes to show what he could do. So yeah, 281st by the back-to-back MVP, unanimous. So next is Jimmy Butler. I think we've all heard his story. If you haven't, there's a pretty cool little video. You can find it on YouTube, and it's about his story growing up. So he was homeless when he was a teenager. His mom kicked him out, and he was actually brought into his friend's home, kind of like a Blindside type story. This man, Jimmy Butler, was ranked 127th when he was in high school, which is even crazier when you think about it, because he was 6'6", 215, so it's not like he was undersized or anything like that. He had all the skills, he had all the talent, but he just wasn't getting a lot of exposure. So he ended up going to Tyler Community College in Texas, and he played well there and ended up getting a scholarship to Marquette, and now he's one of the best two-way guards in the league. So all-star starter this year, Jimmy Butler. I'm a big fan of him. I'm a fan of Chicago, so all the power to him. That's an awesome story. So next is one of the more surprising ones for me, honestly, and that's Paul George. Paul George in high school was ranked 292nd in the country. 292nd. Like, 291 players were better than him. Who was sleeping on this man? Well, apparently everybody was sleeping on him because nobody wanted him. So he was a solid high school player. He averaged 23 points per game in his senior year. He had great size, like I say, 6'7". He played AAU ball with future player Drew Holiday, so he was getting exposure. Scouts were seeing him. Despite his low rankings, he got offers from some big schools like Georgetown and Penn State, but chose to go to Fresno State because he assumed he'd get more playing time, which he did. And after averaging 17-7 his sophomore season, he chose to forego his last 2 years to enter the draft, and he got picked up 10th overall in the 2010 draft and has played for the Pacers ever since. And last on this list is a guy who I think is still getting slept on, and that's Damian Lillard. His senior season, he was ranked 308th in the country, which is worse than all of these guys, and it just baffles me. 308th. And it's funny because to this day, this man is still getting slept on. Probably one of the biggest all-star snubs in NBA history, if you ask me. And I'm not even that big of a fan. Like, I live in Vancouver, Washington, which is like 5 minutes away from Portland, Oregon. All my friends are Blazers fans. I'm not the biggest Blazers fan, but Damian Lillard puts on night in and night out, and he's still getting slept on. He bounced around to 3 different high schools until he finally found a spot at Oakland High School his junior year. And although he averaged 22 points his senior year in high school, his only semi-major offer was from Weber State. He ended up getting Freshman of the Year in the Big Sky Conference, played all 4 years at Weber, and averaged 24, 4, and 5 his senior season. So he had a fantastic senior season. He ended up getting drafted 6th overall in the 2012 draft, and apparently is still getting hated on to this day because no one's seeing what he's doing. But all that aside, Damian Lillard, he is a baller, and he's going to continue to be a baller for sure. So yeah, that's my list of 5 guys who I believe to be some of the most underranked, underrated high school prospects ever. I mean, all of these guys have had fantastic careers, all multiple-time All-Stars. Some of them even including Stephon Curry, who's a back-to-back MVP. And he wasn't even rated in the top 150 in his class. I think it goes to show for anybody that's watching this video, if you're a little undersized or you're a little undervalued on your team or in your program, to not give up. Sometimes you got to change things up. You know, a lot of these guys went to more than one high school. Sometimes you got to change up the scenery, and if you're undervalued, go where you're valued. If you're talented and you got the stuff, they'll find out about it and you'll be appreciated. So, and this definitely goes to show to not give up and to continue to just keep pursuing your dreams. So yeah, that's my list. If you guys have anybody who you think was super underranked or a story that's pretty cool, let me know. Definitely comment about it. I love making videos like this. It's super interesting to me. So yeah, until next time.